Pontus, my friend.
Not
Yes,
yet. Hang on.
Hey.
we
Try
did
Oh,
again.
there you
There it is.
are. Lovely.
Looking
Oh.
pretty dark here. It's 2:30 in Sweden. Give me 1 second and I'll put the lights on.
Oh, well, I kind of like the mood. You know,
Yeah.
he comes in the mood. Like that's where I'm feeling right now. Like
2:30
all
a.m.
right.
vibe. My mom and I were just talking about that 2:30 in the morning kind of creativity time where you don't think the same and things happen. You can have that today.
this would be the time to write moon logic for point and click adventure games.
Is there any moon logic in your game? I was just sort of talking a little bit about it before you came in, but Justin Wack and the Big Time Hack, I'm kind of curious because you have sort of a LucasArts kind of a feel coming in for me. And I know LucasArts and Moon Logic are not as compatible as, say, Moon Logic and Sierra games.
Yeah, right. I think I steered clear of the moon logic, but you guys be the judge. It's I mean some puzzles are there's no monkey wrench stuff, but there is some creative solutions. But I would say there's I definitely try to stay away from the monkey or the two kind of puzzles, all the moon logic puzzles, and there's zero like logic puzzles, where there's puzzles that are not connected to the story, where you get like connect these dots and send electricity through a grid or something like that.
Understood. So where did you get the idea? I mean, going way back before you even thought of making games, where did you start with playing games? Who introduced you to a computer in the first place?
Okay, so that would be my father. I remember as a little kid going to my father's workplace, and he actually had a computer and showed me King's Quest, and I was like, this is so awesome. I had seen stuff like Pac-Man and some action games, but I had never seen like a world, moving around in a world and having the fairy tale feeling and the story, the narrative experience in a game. So I was totally blown away by that. So that credit or whatever goes to my father.
I feel, my father's the one that introduced me as well. He started me off with like Donald Duck's Playground and Tapper, and then handed me King's Quest 4 and said, what do you make of this? And it took me a year and 2 months, but I finished that whole game on my own with the only advice I really got was go sleep on that for a little while, maybe go for a walk and just think about that problem before you come back to it. It's a learning experience.
Yeah, there was a lot of that, and talking to your friends about hopefully playing the same game.
Did you get a bit of that experience? Did you have other kids in the neighborhood that were into computers and stuff?
Yeah, because that was my first meeting with computer games. But I had a Commodore 64 game and or a computer, and we eventually got like a disk drive. In the beginning, it was all cassettes, and then we got like a disk drive, and then that means you could play some of the more complex titles like Maniac Mansion. So I played Maniac Mansion, and 30 minutes in, there's this meanwhile cutscene, and I was just like, this is so cool. So you can follow around like another story or something else going on in the same house. This is too cool. This is awesome. And I was maybe like 8 years old or maybe something like that, and started writing like text-based, multiple choice-based games on that Commodore 64 game computer.
Oh, you started.
I was tuned out for a second there, attending to other things. But did I even hear your game introduced? If we did, I missed it.
Yeah, we would. I think it was mentioned. The game is called Justin Wack and the Big Time Hack.
That's right. Yeah, I could just for those that aren't familiar with it, can you just sort of give us a brief overview of what the game's about?
Yeah, sure. It's I usually talk about it in terms of like it's a story, it's a love story, and there's time traveling involved, and there's scary-looking robots hunting time travelers. Those are the three things I usually mention. It's very much a love letter to those Lucasfilm games. And Maniac Mansion being the first game I played, it was like my my first love in this world of narrative games. But of course, when I thought of starting doing this game, I was like, I was so naive and thinking that I told my friend, like, I'm going to do the next game is going to be a point and click adventure game. Remember those? And because the last game I played was maybe Grim Fandango or something like that in this genre. And he was like, I think they're still at it. I think people are still making these games. And I Googled around and I saw, this Gibbous game is coming out, and it looks fantastic, So I was like, oh, cool. So, but there is a scene brewing, so I found that to be, like a nice surprise for me, because my game is, I suppose, the most obvious, like heritage or inspiration has to be Day of the Tentacle.
The Tentacle, exactly. That's exactly.
Yeah, we have the three eras. There's three playable characters. And so there's a lot of it owes so much to those early games. And I had a Kickstarter for this game. It took me a bunch of years to complete the game, but I had a Kickstarter, and Ron Gilbert was actually one of the backers, and I freaked out.
I bet.
And I mailed him just to check, like, is it okay to is it really you? And is it okay if I mention this to people? Because it's very, very hard to market, a game. And he said, yeah, it's me, and it's okay. So,
that's quite the endorsement.
It was such a great feeling to have, like, my childhood me and my 40-year-old me meeting,
absolutely.
Something like that, because he's the guy who inspired me to do this in the first place. It was
a true nostalgia hit.
Yeah, it was really, really, really awesome. But the graphical artist freaked out when he saw it. It was like, now people are going to see the game. They're going to play the game. It better be good. Have you got the storytelling and blah 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 blah? So it's it puts more pressure on us.
More pressure, but the right kind of pressure. You want to make it good, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And the game was released, I should maybe mention, in the end of August. So it's a very recent release.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's quite an accomplishment to release a game. As many of us know, and we've talked about it over the course of the streams, often timelines end up merging in some funny ways as soon as game development starts.
Yeah, you have to be it's an insane to get those last percentages, to feel that, okay, this is it, and press the release button. To get there, you have to be kind of a little bit bananas, I think.
That's true.
But
yeah, I work in wood finishing, and 90% of the work is in the last 10% of the work, and almost everybody ends up forgetting that.
Yeah. It's it took 4 years part time, and I thought it would take 2 years. So, but most of the time went into building this like framework. I built the game on Unity and with a language called Ink, from the Inkle guys. Maybe you know the guys who did Overboard and.
Right, of course, yes.
So they had this beautiful language already like implemented that I could basically put on top of Unity and interop with what I had. So I kind of rewrote the whole game in that.
Things together, exactly.
Yeah. So now I have a really good framework for for hopefully doing more of these games. That's
what I'm
definitely
figuring. The first is that one where you're kind of putting it all together and figuring it all out. And if you're going to stay within that framework, that's killer. That's really good.
Yeah, and that is the plan, because I mentioned, Maniac Mansion started it all, and then when I was maybe 20 or something, I started getting into programming for real, and the first thing I was doing, with web development stuff, was actually taking screenshots of Maniac Mansion, trying to build. Walk. I couldn't get the guy walking, but I could get like hotspots and pull rug and take key and use key indoor and stuff. And so when I look back at it, it's like very clear that okay, this is what I wanted to do for my entire life. And I feel blessed to finally have arrived. What was that?
Yeah. What a natural progress. I mean, it's instead of being brought into an industry in a way, you sort of created the idea because you found something that you love and you played with it until it became something a little bit more tangible. I mean, that's the true adventure gamer story all around.
It's been the most fun project I ever embarked upon. And it's, because I'm the type of guy, I talked to Joshua about this, I'm the type of guy who've been playing in bands all my life and doing creative writing and stuff, but never getting signed and never getting published, and for this game, I found an outlet for all those passions, so I can, bring everything that I do into one product that I had no idea if people would care about, but I've been blown away by the response and the help that I've been getting from the Discord and everything. It's been a blast.
You planted those seeds, you cultivated all of this artistic garden, if you will, and out comes Justin Wack and the Big Time Hack. Wonderful game so far, and we don't have a lot of time. I just want to know if that's something that we're going to see some more of from you and more games in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely the plan. I have tons of ideas. What I'm going to do now, the game is available on Windows, Mac, and Linux, and I'm going to do a Switch port now. But when all that is done, I'll definitely be starting on the next one. And I have a bunch of ideas. I just need to feel them out and see which ones tickle me the right way.
So original ideas rather than a sequel, you mean?
Probably, yeah. But I think 2 of the ideas that I have is in the same universe.
Okay.
So those agents speaking, a lot of people have reacted very kindly to those agents speaking like Sean Connery, mixed with Darth Vader, and those play a huge part in at least 2 of my games, because I loved writing for those. They were just so fun to write. It was like writing for like my dream writing job would be maybe writing for The Simpsons and only write the Mr. Burns parts. That's writing those agents. Like, it's so fun that it's like I can't believe how fun it is to do this.
Well, I'm happy to hear of the success of Justin Wack. Go buy it on Steam. Go buy. Is it on GOG?
It might be, but it's not yet. But I do have a DRM-free version out there on it's a Fireflower Games.
Oh.
But there is like a petition on GOG to get it there. So
you heard it, gang. Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
Let's make it happen. Petition.
Make it happen. Make it happen.
Pontus, you've been one of my favorite people to talk to ever since I started doing this thing, and it's a pleasure to speak with you once again, my friend.
The same, man. Very good to see you again.
Lovely to
Disappointed
speak with you.
that you're not wearing a Pink Floyd t-shirt, but
not this round. Not this round.
Yeah.
All right. Take care, Pontus, and good luck.
Thanks, Pontus.
And good luck with your new site and everything. That's awesome.
We're all so excited for you guys.